We're about to watch what's highly likely to be the greatest football game in the history of football games tonight. We're talking the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs here. Patrick Mahomes, Taylor Swift, Hank Williams, degenerate gamblers, all that shit. We need action on this thing, and lucky for us, I found a move that has a 0.0% chance of losing. How do I know? Because I went through the entire board. All of it. I didn't even go to bed last night. That's how important it is that we win this thing. Do you know what else is important? Subscribing to this channel. All we do around here is talk about gambling. We even go live almost every day of the week to make giant parlays that'll feed our families for the rest of our lives. It's basically just like joining a cult, except you're not going to be asked to drink any Kool-Aid at all, unless you just want to. Anyways, like I said, Eagles, Chiefs, Monday Night Football, greatest game of all time. We have to be betting this thing, and if we're going to bet anything, I think it should be DeAndre Swift over 13.5 rushing attempts, minus 110 at ESPN Bet. Let me start by saying this. I know these guys are new, but what are they doing? FanDuel has this thing at minus 130. Caesars has it all the way up at minus 142. You can't just post minus 110 like it's a coin flip. We're talking DeAndre Swift here. It's a big game. He's getting the ball. This legit happens every single game. Well, except one. He became the starter in week 2, and every game since then he's carried the ball at least 14 times except the game against the Jets. That was a different time for everybody though. That was weeks ago. The guy was getting stuffed every single time he got the ball, so they just started throwing it to him. That won't happen tonight. For starters, only 3 teams in the entire NFL allow opposing running backs to average more yards per carry than the Chiefs. That's not the greatest stat in the world, but it does tell a story. It also doesn't tell the whole story. The other part of the story is that Patrick Mahomes plays for the Chiefs. Maybe you've heard of him. Ask yourself this. If you were playing a football game against Patrick Mahomes, would you want him to have the ball? Of course not. That's dumb. So what you do is just have your offense hold on to the ball. Hand it to the running back. Let the clock tick. Teams have been doing this all season, even in losses, which is kind of crazy. Austin Eckler carried the ball 14 times against these Chiefs a few weeks ago, and the Chargers lost that game by double digits. I'm talking 2 touchdowns here. I'm not saying Swift is going to set a record for carries in a single game tonight, but he's going to tote the rock at least 14 times. That's science. Now, obviously, we're not going to be watching this thing without a same-game parlay. That's just the way we do things. Lately, DraftKings has been giving everybody a free crack at one, so we might as well take it. It's only $5, but what kind of dirtbag complains about free SGPs, even if they are for only $5? Certainly not us, especially when we can start this thing with our guy, DeAndre Swift. He's getting 80 plus rushing yards tonight, guys, and DraftKings is like plus 2 something for that. We already talked enough about him, so we can definitely move on, but he's a great place to start, especially in the rain. He's a mutter. That's why the leg that I really want to talk about is the Eagles' money line. Honestly, I think they win this game. It's likely their year. They're just better than everybody else. On top of that, we can't just give the Chiefs a pass for losing to the Broncos a couple weeks ago. Denver showed that no matter how bad you are at quarterback, receiver, offensive line, coach, defense, kicker, punter, if you just pound the ball at the Chiefs, they'll fold. We all watched that game. Tonight, it's going to be raining. DeAndre Swift is going to be running wild, and the Chiefs are going to have fewer possessions than they normally do. That's just how the clock works. Since that's the case, the Eagles are just going to grind this win out. But here's the thing. We have to trick the algorithm a little bit. So why not throw in Chiefs team total over 19.5? That jacks this thing up to plus 750, and it's really not even crazy to think that the Chiefs lose this thing 23-20. That could easily happen. As good as the Eagles are against the run, they're just as bad against the pass. Quarterbacks kill them on a per-game basis, and the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes. He's pretty good. We already talked about him. For that reason, we have to expect Kansas City to hang a few points. They've only failed to reach 20-plus points 3 times this season. On the flip side, the Eagles have given up at least 20 points in every game except for 3 this season. This thing has 23-20 written all over it. I'll see you guys on the live stream later. Don't forget to turn on the notifications.